Well, I don't think anybody knows, but I do think if I were a retailer, I would have the hatches battened down and make sure that I was making cash every day. I know that many retailers and restaurants have a fair amount of leverage sitting on top of them. The most important thing to do is to get your business cash flow positive and covering its interest, because frankly, I think there will probably be a fair amount of exit of retailers in all kinds of spectrums from a set of overexpansion we had in the past. And if you can survive that, I think there's upside just in the fact that you'll be one of the few remaining left alive when the economy rebounds, and you'll have plenty of growth in front of you. So I would not underestimate the amount of cost and frugality that businesses need to have today to run themselves. So I think there's a good question about sort of how aggressive you want your marketing to be in a down economy. The most important thing to the sort of the marketing effectiveness point is to figure out what it is that actually works. So I think that to just go out, be aggressive, and spend your money and not know what works is not a good idea. I think that the initial reaction, which manufacturers and retailers will have, which I think is right, will be to cut their spending, take out the inefficient stuff, and really focus it against what works. And I think that's a good first step, as we talked about battening down the hatches and making sure that you're making cash every day. Now, that being said, I think that once you do that and you find a set of things that really work, it behooves you to do more of those things, and pretty aggressively. In this economy, variable margin's a good thing. Cash is your friend. So once you know something that works, you got to spend more money behind it. That might actually mean eventually increasing your marketing budget. It certainly means moving your spending across vehicles to the ones that work the most efficiently for you to drive volume. So yeah, we just finished a study with consumers looking forward for what they were going to change if the economy got worse, and of course it is. A couple things. One, the biggest trend for consumers has been something we call staying at home, right? They're certainly doing more of that. They're going to watch more TV, surf the internet more, cook more at home, do a whole host of things like that. In addition, they're driving less, though I think that was sort of fuel related, but we're not seeing that rebound, I think, as consumers are worried about the economy and continuing to be frugal. And they're also looking for deals, so on coupons, et cetera. So those were the three biggest mass impacts that we had for consumers. So I think as you look forward, things you can do to engage people at home, things you can do to communicate a good value, whether pricing or trading across, and things you can do to make shopping convenient for people so they're not driving a long way to do it, are all good things. I think the second biggest thing is they were delaying durable purchases. Now, as a percentage of the population, so as a mass impact, that's smaller because people make durable purchases less often. But certainly if you're a home builder or a car manufacturer, you're seeing these impacts in your business today. And then the last thing, which I think is interesting, is that at the time, consumers thought that one of the things they might do was use their credit cards and borrow more. Now, we all know with the economy the way it is today, that's not going to happen. So I think consumers still have not come to grips with the impact that this economy is going to have on them. So as you look forward, I think prudence is the name of the game as you make your plans for the coming year. I think the next thing is they need to look across the set of alternate formats that they compete with, understand what the real sort of trading across options are that they can compete with, and figure out how they're going to address those, right? Do they need an alternate format? Do they need a set of their store that looks and feels like this alternate format to keep consumers in the store? How are they going to compete with those options? If they happen to be lucky and to have a value format, I think the idea at the moment is to hop on board and take as big as advantage of that as possible, while at the same time starting to put some differentiation into your stores, right? So that when the economy comes back, they're ready for the rebound. And then the last thing is on their product mix. As they do these things, I think value and low cost is good, but smart value is better. Things I feel good about are great. So let's do some Starbucks, let's do some Prius, let's do some energy efficient appliances, let's do a set of things like that that will really bind consumers to the category in my stores, so that when the economy recovers, I have loyal customers, not just price sensitive ones.